Hi, Dave Cicero here. I've been battling with certain software for a while, with samples, a lot of sounds. Now, what I mean by battling is trying to find a piece of software that will be able to filter out all my samples and find them easily. Because as a music producer, you over the years you tend to build up your samples. When I mean in samples, I mean kicks, drum loops, voices, any sort of sample that a music producer collects over the years and uses in the tracks. Now, you maybe have a hard drive that's quite big and it's got tons of different samples on it, and you're trying to write a song, you've got this idea in your head of, I need that bass line or I need that drum loop, but you can't find it because there's thousands upon thousands of samples. So it would be great if you had a piece of software that could filter out and find what you're looking for a bit easier. And I've been trying out different pieces of software. There is a lot out there, but I've got a few here that I've got a few here that I'm going to show you and sort of give you my insight of of what I would use, or what I prefer. They've all got their strengths and weaknesses. They're not perfect, but if you're looking for something like this as being a music producer, or even not just that, if you're looking for something to filter out your different types of files that you may have, then this will hopefully help. Sorry about that, I didn't have my mic switched on. Hope you can hear me clearer now. But the first one we've got is XO. Now, XO is more of a drum machine. It's from XLN Audio, and this is like when you first sort of open it, you've got this sort of map of different sounds. Now, all these different sounds represent a drum. When you open it, you've got all these different coloured dots. Now, just imagine this being like a map. Now, all the coloured dots represent different drum sounds. Now, XLN Audio's XO is more for just drum beats. You can add the sort of other samples into it, but it's most for your drum beats and very short ones as well. But when you first open up XO, it does a scan of wherever folder you want it to scan, and it'll pull up this map once they've all been found. So, for example, all these ones in red are kick drums, and if you just hover your mouse over these little dots, it will start playing them. Blue, that's all your snare, percussion, so hi-hats up there, crashes and stuff there, claps and stuff, and there should be
T. Scott.
Yeah, so these are just your other samples that are maybe not representing drums. It could be vocals or sound effects and stuff.
My house.
So on here is your sort of drum setup. I'm not going to go too much into it. I'm just giving you an example of different software that we can use. There's plenty of videos online that can show you more about it, but you have all your different sounds on each channel here, and you can change the kicks or any sample to whatever you want by just highlighting it and then assigning it there, and now you've got your different sound. And you can also go into here. It's got its own menus already set up, its own drums already set for you, and you can play them. You can also try different patterns on this side. So you bring up your drum beat and you can select different drum patterns. And you can also then pull this into your DAW. And in here you can edit all your drums, like your effects, different drum styles. Here's all your patterns and panning and stuff like that. So it has got a lot to it. Now, great sounding drums. That's what I love about EXO. Really solid sounding drums. So easy for making patterns and stuff like that. The only drawback is it's very short samples that it takes. You can't have a loop or a sample that's over a minute long or whatever. It doesn't compute. But for small drum beats, making up your own beats, it's fantastic for that. Syncs to your DAW and does all that good stuff. So yeah, EXO is great as a drum machine, but not as a overall sample finder that can connect to your DAW and have all bells and whistles. But yeah, that's EXO. Next up is Atlas 2. And Atlas, as you can see, is quite similar, where you've got your different maps and you can hover over these sounds, and each colour represents a different sound. And you can also pull in a drum kit from this map here over to here, and it has its own sequences, already made ones as well, but you can create your own. There's different ways of looking at it. So this is called Earth, so it's a bit more of a zoomed in version of different sound effects that you might be looking for, but you can go over here and you can change it to Galaxy, and it gives you a more zoomed out version of the different drum styles that you've got, drum sounds. And again, you can hover over them and have a listen. It's also got a list view, so you're like old school, sort of going down the list and finding out a sound you're looking for. But I quite like the Galaxy view. It gives you everything. And obviously you can zoom in if you find a sound that you like that snare. You can zoom over here and you can see more snares, more information based on that part of the Galaxy. You can also make up your own maps. As you can see, it's a lot bigger. This is all my samples, or some of my samples on one of my drives. And you can see it'd be massive. It'd be a nightmare trying to find one sample out of thousands of these sounds that you've got. But it's so good for that. And the good thing, what I like about Atlas as well, is that it tends to provide you your other samples as well, so bass lines and vocals. And I just find EXO can't seem to find all that information unless I'm just filling it out wrong. So here's all your other sounds here. So there's quite a lot there, and obviously you've got your sequencer here, and you can write in your own beats, and there's always pre-made ones as well, and it sounds a wee bit like this. So whatever beat you're made here, this will run off of whatever map you've got, so you can pull in different sounds for each map and make up your own beat. You can change the beat as well. You can change the kit, different sounds, just shuffle the sounds to something else. Sounds quite cool actually. But yeah, just keep shuffling it till you find a beat that you like. Just adding random little sounds, different parts to this beat from other parts of the map. Silk Curly. So yeah, it's loads of fun. I like Atlas. It just seems a bit more easier than EXO. I just find it more fun to use. They're very similar, and don't get me wrong, people will be saying, yeah, EXO's better, and I just find this easier to get my head round. It's lots of fun, but again, it doesn't give you huge samples. It only provides you the short samples because obviously it's more of a drum machine, it's more of a beats maker than a sort of sample locator or sample finder. Next up is Sononym. Sononym. I'm not great at pronouncing things, sorry about that. This is slightly different because this one doesn't link up to your DAW. It's more of a search, it's a finder, it's something that will search for every single sample on your device, doesn't matter what type of audio. It searches your VSTs, I know that EXO and that can do that as well, but this gives you samples, doesn't matter how long they are, it will find them. Any piece of audio that you've got, it will filter it out to your heart's content. It can find everything, any part, any sample, any sound on any of your hard drives. So I've linked this up to a couple of my drives, and it's just amazing. And you've got your little tabs down here so you can filter out what sound you're looking for as well. So if you're looking for kicks, for example, you can just press that and it'll give you every single kick sound. What is fantastic about this is that, say, for example, let's go back to my loops. I'll go filter out for loops. It's got one shots, kicks and stuff like that, but if I find a loop, yeah, so for example, I like that loop. I want to find a loop that's similar to that. It can do that for you by just pressing this button. So what it's done is it's searched through that sample and it's trying to find something that's similar to that sound. Overall, the spectrum, the timbre, the pitch and everything else, it filters through the sounds and it says, right, I found all these sounds that are similar to that. Now, don't get me wrong, not every time it searches it finds something that's the exact same, but it will give you something with similar sort of timbre, pitch and stuff like that. The similarity of this one is not that great by the looks of it, but let's hear what else. So this is the original sound. The next sound closest to that is this. Yeah, I quite like that. So let's go and try and find something similar to that sound. That's similar, and it also, if you're looking for something that's maybe the same pitch, you can pull these bars up to make it try and match the pitch that is the same as that sample. I think that's long enough. So let's hear the next sample that was similar to this. So let's go to the next one. I mean, I'm expecting when I do a similarity find on this that I'm going to find the loop that's the exact same, but it's not, because everything's different, every loop is different. But what I can hear is I can hear the same pitch, I can hear the same sort of timbre, and I can see why it's searching for these samples, these loops that are similar to the one that I asked it to filter out and try and find. So it's great for that. It's great for saying, hey, I'm looking for a bass line, and I want you to find a bass line similar to that, or a clap, for example. What I've found with this is it's good for searching for samples, thousands of them. The problem is that I'm finding with this is, first of all, you can't link it to your DAW. So if you had a loop that you're wanting to maybe match up to your track, I mean, there has got settings in here that you can match the BPM and stuff, but you can't link it so that the other libraries, and the next one I'm going to show you, can do that. This one can't. That's the first thing. The second thing I'm finding is it's very slow. So if you've got several drives that you've linked up to this and you're trying to search for a bass line, there tends to be a bit of a delay. Now I know it's probably searching through thousands of folders, some thousands of files, but if you're writing music, you want something that's snappy, that's fast, that you click, I want to find a bass line, bang, it searches for it. I mean, I've got quite fast drives, but it's taken forever to search for or to filter certain things out. So it's very frustrating. You're sitting there waiting on it filtering out to something, and it just, it takes forever. I'm not into that. I want something that's going to be fast and snappy. But it's a great thing if you've got thousands of samples and maybe you're a film producer and you're looking for sound effects, a gunshot, for example. This will find it for you. I think this is great for film producers, but as a musician, I don't know. It's really slow. It's just not as responsive as the other programs that I've used. Now, ADSR Sample Manager. This is what I was looking for. It's got everything. It's got your file locator. It can play any length of sample. It can play loops. It can link up to your DAW, match the tempo, find a key, and it's fast. You can filter things out. You can locate any specific sound you want, and it's free. What more can you ask for? This is everything I need. I can link this up to my DAW. I can have a drum loop going, and I can get, if I had a track and I was wanting a bass line loop to go with a leader, for example, I could find a bass line in the same key. It would match the tempo. I could drag it to my track. Hunky dory, everything's fine. You can even play it on the keys. So you can have it on your keyboard and you can, like say you pull up a bass line, you can play on your keyboard along with your track, strings, bang, midied up, fantastic. I don't see much wrong with this. I mean, as I say, I've got these other, I've checked out EXO, I've checked out the Atlas and the other one. The other two, EXO and Atlas, are brilliant for drum loops, for drums. And Atlas is more for drums, but also great percussion, or great if you want to have additional sounds like bass lines and vocals along with your drum beat. Great for that. But this here has got everything. It's got everything, and it's free. I don't want to, as I say, I don't want to go too much into how it all works because there's plenty of videos out there. But this is the go-to for me. I'm loving it. It's fast, it's snappy, and it's again easy to use once you get your head round it. You got your little tags. You can find bass lines, breaks, strings, vocals, everything. Compared to the other one that we just had on there, which is similar because it finds any type of sample, any sound you've got, but it just seems to eat up your resources, eat up your CPU, eat up your memory, and hang and search through all these files. With this, it's snappy. It just finds it for you. It finds the sound you're looking for. So, out of all of them, I'm not ranking them in any specific order, but this for me ticks most of the boxes that I'm looking for. Yeah, it's got its little drawbacks. Sometimes when you pull it up, it tends to want to refresh some of your drives, and then it asks you to, like for example here, it keeps asking you to refresh your library where you've only done it a day or so before. So yeah, that's a bit of a pain. Sometimes when you're searching for a loop, it pulls up a one shot, or vice versa. And again, that's not really ADSR Sample Manager. That might be the way that the file, the sample's been named, because it's searching for maybe a bass drum, and it might pull up some basses as well because it sees bass, and it thinks, oh, and it might pull up something that you weren't looking for. But nah, you can't beat it just now. I might be wrong. There might be other sample managers out there, and leave them in the comments. I'd love to check them out. So there you go. I mean, it's up to you. You might disagree with what I'm saying, but I just wanted to let you know what I feel about some of the sample managers that are out there just now. I hope you enjoyed that, and sorry for rabbiting on. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.